ADHD, what it is and what to do about it. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects an estimated 5 to 10% of children and 4.5% of adults. It is characterized by a few key symptoms in both children and adults. Some signs to look for if you suspect someone of having ADHD are inattentive or difficulty sustaining attention, easily distracted, difficulty following instructions, or hyperactivity. These symptoms can make otherwise simple tasks more complicated for an individual with ADHD. However, with the correct medication, the symptoms and individual experiences can be mitigated. But what exactly is ADHD? What is it that affects a person's attention span or impulse control? As I mentioned, ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder, which means that it is a disorder associated with the brain. According to a paper from 2006 by Amy Crane and Xavier Castellanos, in the case of ADHD, evidence shows that children with ADHD have a total reduction in brain volume when compared to sex and age matched controls. Specifically, the prefrontal cortex, or PFC, and cerebellum of children with ADHD was, on average, smaller than those of the control children. This is significant because of the roles played by the PFC and cerebellum. Memory, impulse inhibition, and attention are all influenced by dopamine in the PFC. The cerebellum is the part of the brain associated with motor function and is involved in shifting attention. If either portion of the brain has a volume that is lower than average, then it cannot perform its job to the same potential as those of average size. To simplify this, the smaller the volume, the fewer the number of cells at work, reducing the overall function of the brain. So, what can be done for someone with ADHD? Well, the good news is that there is effective medication to help mitigate the effects of ADHD. Probably the most common is dextroamphetamine, better known as Adderall. Dextroamphetamine acts as a sort of booster for signals caused by external stimuli. This helps facilitate the uptake of the signals by the neurons in the PFC. This boost in signal reception is what helps to augment memory and attentiveness. ADHD can be a frustrating disorder for all who it affects, but there are ways to make it less impactful, and research on the disorder continues to make progress towards better treatment options.